Good morning. How are you doing this fine day? Me? Oh, fully aware of my own shortcomings, but still quite happy to pass judgment on others, same as usual. Thanks for asking. We've got a packed show for you today, and I have places to be after this show. So let's roll that intro and get on with the show. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Wednesday, the 28th of July, and as that strangely persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, a new national demolition framework has been launched. There's sheer delight as Italmec presses the IP18 attachment into action. Construction equipment sales are riding high, and we have the official film of last week's Avonmouth blast, so be sure to stick around. If you have any comments or questions about these subjects or anything else for that matter, please leave them in the chat and I'll get to them in the after party at the end of the show. But first, let's stroll through the list of celebrities celebrating birthdays today and see how many of the names we actually recognise. And it's many happy returns to children's author Beatrix Potter, to the late Jackie Kennedy Onassis, to Garfield creator Jim Davis, to UFC president Dana White, and to former West Ham player Michael Carrick. Sadly, he left West Ham to join some lesser club, the name of which completely escapes me. But many happy returns to them, one and all. Now I'm going to take a stab at this name. Pagabo has issued a prior information notice on a new £1.56 billion national demolition and land preparation framework. According to a report in the Construction Inquirer, the framework will run for 4 years and will allow local authorities and public sector bodies to procure a range of projects such as structural demolition, bulk earthworks, and industrial dismantling. The Demolition and Land Preparation Framework will feature 10 lots, with each including 6 regional and national suppliers, along with 3 reserve organisations. The full list of lots is demolition of 5 stories and below, demolition of 6 stories and above, bulk earthworks and waste management, contaminated land remediation, mine work remediation, ground improvement, decommissioning and decontamination, asbestos management and removal, industrial dismantling and deplanting, and non-traditional high-rise structures. Jason Stapley, managing director at Pagabo, who knows, said, for any project that needs to procure these services currently, the contractor usually brings in an organisation from its supply chain. However, this new offering provides a compliant and direct procurement route for demolition and land preparation services for public sector bodies, affording them direct access to specialist firms. We are responding to market needs with this particular framework and look forward to working with Rugby Borough Council, which will act as the awarding body. Across the country, there is a large amount of development that will require demolition or site remediation to get going. This framework is set to make those early pre-construction phase services easier to access in a compliant manner for public sector organisations, making sure that every site and project gets the quickest and best possible start. Now, there will be a webinar on how to become a part of this massive framework early next month. And if I press the right button, as you can see, the registration for that webinar is live right now, and you can find a direct link to it over at demolitionnews.com. Demolitionnews.com, where it is actually the lead story today. So go and take a look at that if you want to be considered to be on part of that massive framework.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
If there is one thing we like more than seeing new equipment, it's seeing new equipment in action. So grazie mille. hope I pronounced that right, to Marco and the team at the Italian attachment specialist Italmec for coming up with precisely that. The attachment I'm about to show you is the Italmec IP18 demolition shear, which, as you're about to see, is mounted on a Liebherr high reach and is working in Italmec's native Italy. Let's roll the film. Now, I could tell you that the tool weighs 1.8 tons. I could also tell you that it has a jaw opening of 850 millimeters. I could even tell you that it boasts an impressive 70 tons of crushing force at the tip of the jaws. But rather than telling you, I've added a link to the chat to a specific and dedicated web page created by Italmec. So you can go and take a look at that yourself. Just have a look in the chat and you can go and take a look. And please feel free to tell Italmec that we sent you. 'Retail sales of construction and earth-moving equipment showed further strong growth in June and are 75% ahead of the same month last year when sales were still recovering from the impact of the first lockdown. According to new figures published by the Construction Equipment Association, sales in Q2 were more than double the levels seen last year and reached over 10,000 units during the quarter. For the first half of the year, sales were over 18,000 units and are 73% ahead of the levels seen in the first half of last year. Sales for the major equipment types show that the strongest growth in sales has been experienced by telehandlers, with sales more than double last year's level in the first 6 months. Sales of mini and midi excavators of up to 10 tons lag behind all the other major equipment types in percentage growth terms. However, mini and midi excavators, should I say, remain the most popular equipment type by a significant margin. $15 million of your finest English pounds has been set aside for the creation of a new mixed-use development on Rossington Street in Leeds. When it's finished, the new build will include office space, a hotel and a restaurant, and public realm on the ground floor level. But there is a small matter of removing the extension to the existing Leonardo building that currently resides on the site. Robertson Construction is among the contenders for the new build element of the works, but at the time of broadcast, a suitably competent demolition contractor has yet to be appointed. You can find out more about this project lead and many more just like it over at buildersconference.co.uk. And speaking of the Builders Conference, please be sure to tune in on Friday morning when I will be joined by Builders Conference CEO Neil Edwards. We're going to take a look back at the construction contract awards reported in the month of July, and they've already passed the £5 billion mark, so plenty to be happy about there. We're also going to take a closer look at the industry growth forecast from the Construction Products Association and at the rise in the wages of bricklayers and HGV drivers, among others. If you've got any questions for Neil, please send them to me in the chat or via email, and I'll put your questions to him on Friday.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
On Thursday last week, you might recall that I paid a flying visit to Avonmouth to bring you some exclusive footage of a controlled explosive demolition at the former AstraZeneca facility. Well, now the auction giant Maynards has released the official video that provides a great look behind the scenes. Let's take a look.
My name's Daniel Gray and I'm the Managing Director of Maynards Europe in the UK. Today I'm talking to you about the Avara project, which was an AstraZeneca manufacturing site in Avonmouth in the southwest of England. We acquired the 100-acre site in December last year alongside our demolition partner Divestiture and our property partner EDC, who are based in Vancouver, Canada. We are demolishing and recycling every brick, every building, every piece of steel, every piece of metal, every curbstone and every road. There are over 10,000 assets to sell, and the ultimate aim of the project is to provide a developable platform for our partner EDC. The complexity of this project was compounded with the onset of COVID. We have very strict COVID protocols on site. Everybody's COVID tested when they enter the project, and we adhere to very strict health and safety policies. The building we're discussing today, the MPB, main production building, was built as a seismic building by ICI, meaning it was blast proof, and the construction of the building is very, very substantial indeed. So the most efficient way to keep on programme is to use explosives. Divestiture and Robin Rushforth blow out one column to test explosives, and the charge is correct, and once that's undertaken, we can then move to the next phase and plan the main blast event. And what we're doing on this project is that's unusual. We're using water to push the columns, support columns of the building out. We're putting the explosives in IBCs of water. That will help mitigate dust spread during the explosion. And we do have seismic monitoring around the site during the explosion too. So the building has been cut in half, and the north part of the building will fall to the north and the south part of the building will fall to the south. It's one of our philosophies at Maynards that we look to sell industrial machinery and equipment. We auction it and sell it, but we also see the project having value in every asset, and it's just part of our environmental commitment that we look to recycle every asset on site. After we've finished demolishing and removing all the assets, our partner EDC in Canada are looking to build 4 distribution warehouses on the site covering 1.85 million square feet and bring hundreds of jobs to the local area.
I have to say, having been there, that's a great film. It really does give a bit of insight into a fantastic job. Right, unless there's any other business, I will declare this episode of the Breakfast Show adjourned. I'm going to roll the outro in just a second, and then I'll hop over into the chat to see what you've all got to say. I'm off to see those fine folks at Rye Demolition fairly shortly, so it won't be a long chat, but I want to see what you've all got to say for yourselves. But for now, have a great day. Stay safe, look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues, and I will see you same time, same place on the morrow. Until then, thanks for watching.